everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to make several cards using Lawn Fawn's new Build-A-House die and the two add-ons that it also released for Christmas and for Halloween. We're going to make 4 Christmas cards, 2 of which are scene cards, 1 reveal wheel card, and then 1 simple, elegant, all die cut version. This is how I store my Build-A-House and add-ons. I purchased one of the large magnetic backings from Lawn Fawn. They sell them 5 to a pack, and I just arranged all my dies on this backing. And I think Lawn Fawn actually suggested doing this in their introductory video for the magnetic backing, and it works very well. The magnets are really strong. You won't need plastic if you store them this way, and I just like being able to see everything in front of me. So I have my originals die cuts on the left, my Christmas add-on dies in the middle, and then my Halloween add-ons on the right. And it's just a really great way to store them. I'm very happy so far. So let's move on to our first card. So this is going to be our elegant die cut version. And I'm just taking some white gouache, spraying it with water, and then we're going to speckle it on to this pearlescent vellum that I cut with one of the swirly dies that Lawn Fawn released a couple years ago. I thought it would be nice to help build a winter scene with the idea of swirling snow in the background. And I really am loving this gouache lately. I've been using it a lot. What I like about it is that it's water-based, so it cleans off very easily, unlike, Copic opaque white or acrylic paint that you might otherwise use. So the gouache, I'm all about the gouache these days. Now I'm taking a piece of mermaid cardstock, and then I'm going to cover it with some glossy accents, and then we're going to put our pearlescent vellum card panel on top of that. And I'm using glossy accents because it will dry clear, so presumably it should be less noticeable than if we used a matte glue behind that see-through vellum. This is a little piece of pixie I think it's called pixie dust cardstock that I cut out using another Lawn Fawn border die. I think it's like just the rounded hill one. And I just attached that. And now we're going to attach this Merry Christmas die cut. I think this was released last year. And I'm just going to arrange that on the bottom there. And my T was a little crooked. I didn't notice that until after I finished the card and it was all dry, but it's okay. Now I'm going to put the house together. So I like that you get this little backing piece to put behind the window so that it doesn't show through to the back of the card. So I added that, and then I added a layer of foam tape. And then we're going to pop that up. And I cut my house out of some of the white wood grain cardstock that Lawn Fawn released last year. And then for our little base of the house and for the roof, I'm using some black cardstock. I think it's black licorice cardstock. Same for the little window. And then we are going to add a little chimney. And I think that is some storm cloud cardstock that they cut the chimney out of. And then this is some of the gray wood grain cardstock for the little door. And I added a little piece of mermaid cardstock behind the window just so it didn't show through. So it looked like there's a little window there instead of just the white house. We're going to pop up one of the layers of the roof on a layer of foam tape. And I'm just going to attach that right above the door. And then we're going to add a wreath. I cut the wreath out of cilantro cardstock. And then this is raspberry cardstock for the bow. Now, just to make the wreath look a little bit interesting because it is die cut, I'm going to add some little dots of YG17 and then G29 just to give the wreath a little bit of texture. I think any mid-tone or dark greens would work here. And then I'm also going to add a little white dot in the center of the bow and then on the wreath as well, just to, again, add a little texture, make it interesting looking. Now, this piece is from the Christmas add-on, and these are our lights. I cut the lights out of some pearlescent vellum, and the top of the lights, little connectors with some black licorice cardstock, and I'm just attaching them together, making sure they're nice and stable. And then I'm going to do the same thing with our second row of lights. So we're going to have a row of lights on the first and the second floors of our house. And throughout the course of this video, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to make the lights. So this way, we're making it now is with the pearlescent vellum. So you just will end up with a very kind of elegant, understated look for the lights. So they're just going to be clear. And then I'm just going to attach them to the roof. And then we'll make some more colorful lights later on using one version we'll make with liquid stardust, and then another we'll do with glossy accents. And then you can let me know which of those you like best. Now I'm just going to add the second row of lights. One thing to note here, you can apply your lights so that they are straight across the roof, or you can have them hang a little bit. In another version we make later, I'll show you what it looks like when they hang. But for this simple, elegant house, I thought it would be nice if they were just straight across. Now I added the doorknob, and now we're going to put some glossy accents on top of the pearlescent vellum. I think it would have been fine to leave it without. I think we also could put some liquid stardust on top of the vellum, or you could do like I'm doing here with the glossy accents. And I like the glossy accents. It makes them look like they're real light bulbs. So this is the new glitter pen that Lawn Fawn released. So I'm just going to add a little glitter to the bow and a little bit to the windows too. So the glitter pen is less glittery than the stardust, but probably more glittery than a typical glitter pen, if that makes any sense. And then I'm going to attach this to a zigzag cut card panel that I cut out of Storm Cloud cardstock, and then we're going to attach it all to a card base, an A2 size card base. And I think that's Nina Solar White 110 pound cardstock, which is what I usually use for my bases. And the little door opens, and there you have it. So here's our elegant version. Now we're going to make a scene card, and this is the Christmas pattern paper that was just released. I like that you can just use that, and you don't have to make a scene. You can just cut it out. So I'm just cutting it out with another Lawn Fawn scalloped borders die. And then we're going to add some snow again with the pixie dust cardstock. And in this version, we're going to make a gingerbread house. So the first thing I'm doing is, so these are the backs of the windows that I'm just going to add, and I'm coloring them in lavenders and blue greens and blues, just because I want our whole scene to look like just like a Candyland feel to it. And I felt those colors, they reminded me of cotton candy, so I thought it would be nice to have those colors peeking out from the windows. So this is also the house is cut out of the Lawn Fawn wood grain cardstock that was released. It was released as a 5-pack or a 4-pack with gray, white, light brown, and then dark brown. So this one is the light brown. And then the little door is cut out of the dark brown wood grain cardstock. And here I'm just cutting a little piece to put behind the windows on the door, so that again it looks like we have that kind of cotton candy coloring peeking out through the windows on the door. And then for the trim, I'm using the new speckled eggshell cardstock that was just released. So I'm using that for the base as well as the window, and then also for the roof. And this little door is one of the Christmas add-ons. The Christmas add-on gives you a rounded door, and then the general house will give you a square door. This roof is from the Halloween add-on, and I like this roof better than the standard one because it kind of, to me, it's so raggedy that it kind of looks like it could be frosting. So I just thought that it might be fun to try to use the haunted house roof for a gingerbread house. And I'm also using the top part of the roof from the Halloween set because, again, it had ragged edges and reminded me of like an icing. Now I'm going to attach everything to the front of our card panel, popping a part of the house on one layer of foam tape. The very bottom part doesn't need it because the pixie dust is already popped up. And now we're going to decorate and turn this into a little Candyland scene. So all these images are from the Sweet Christmas stamp set that was released a long, long time ago by Lawn Fawn. So I just colored these pieces in off camera, and I'm just decorating our little gingerbread house. So we have these cute little gumdrops and candy canes, and then this little tree in the background. And then we're gonna add a little gingerbread family, and they are decorating their house for Christmas. So even gingerbread families decorate for Christmas. So this little ladder is from the Cheery Christmas stamp set that was released a few years ago, and I thought it would be cute to put the little daddy gingerbread man on top of the ladder so that it looks like he's stringing up lights. And now we're going to add those lights. And here I bent the lights. So this is another way that you can apply the lights. You could either put them directly across the roof, or you can bend them a little so it looks like they're hanging down. And here I thought the hanging would be good because Daddy is still, I guess, fixing and adjusting the lights. So it looks like they're kind of like midway put on. And then his little son is going to be standing underneath the ladder with another string of lights. And this little string of lights is from the Cheery Christmas stamp set. So he's just waiting to hand the lights to his daddy when his daddy needs them. I just thought this was so cute, and this was a fun scene to make. And seriously, isn't this everyone's house the day after Thanksgiving? Okay, so now I'm just showing you how I color in the lights. So I'm just taking some rainbow colored Copics, and I'm just gonna put one color down for each of our bulbs. And I'm just coloring on top of a piece of scratch paper so that I don't stain my mat more than it's already stained. And then I'm gonna take my glue and then just attach the little bulb holders to the bulbs themselves. And it just kind of clicks in place perfectly. And then you just add the whole thing to the roof. So one tip when you're making your lights, so I put them in rainbow order, but I had them going in reverse directions depending on which row it was on, just so that it didn't look like you had like lines of red, lines of pink, lines of orange. This way it just varies things up a little bit. So now I'm just decorating. I colored a whole bunch of images from the Sweet Christmas stamp set, and I felt compelled to use them all, or almost all of them. And now this sentiment is from Sweet Christmas, and it says, "Have a sweet Christmas." So I wanted this to look like gingerbread, so I'm using a piece of paper bag cardstock, and then we're going to emboss the greeting with some white embossing powder. So again, it looks like vanilla frosting on gingerbread. I just thought it helped to tie the scene together, and I really love this font that's included in the Sweet Christmas stamp set. It's really, really sweet. So in order to get my sentiment to fit, I had to cut things out a little bit and then arrange them in a wonky pattern just so that it all fit. And so this is looking good to me. So now I'm just going to tape them on. And I'm just taping them directly to the card panel. There's no foam tape behind the sentiment. Just going to arrange my suite a little bit more. And then we're going to attach everything to an A2 size card base. So I'm just taking my tape runner, applying it to the card base because I didn't want to flip over this panel with all the work that we had just done. I didn't want to risk getting it dirty. So I'm taking the Lawn Fawn glitter pen again, and I'm just going to put some glitter on some of the little candies. Being careful not to smear the ink, especially the white gel pen. White gel pen loves to smear when you put glitter pen over it. Now I'm adding glossy accents to the little bulbs, and I'm just loving how this is looking. So I'm not going to put glossy accents anywhere else on the scene because the scene is pretty busy and I want those lights to stick out. And we also get to put the glossy accents on the little string of lights the little boy gingerbread, the little ginger boy, I guess he's a ginger boy, is holding. And there we have it. So there is our scene card with our little gingerbread family getting ready for the Christmas holiday. And now I'm going to show you another version that I made using the penguin stamp set. I think it's called Here We Go A Waddling. So this one I put 2 houses, and then I put the little carolers in between them. Originally when I was making this card, I was going to put 3 houses. The third one didn't quite fit. I was thinking of staggering it so that it was popped up on top of them. But then I'm like, you know what? Those little carolers would look so cute. And then I could put a lamppost in between. Then I have a spot for my sentiment, and I think it works. And that cardstock is part of the 6x6 pattern paper by Lawn Fawn that was just released too. It makes a really, really nice backdrop. For card number 4, we're going to make a reveal wheel, and I just attach the little window, reveal wheel window into the reveal wheel die. and then die cut it. And this is Rainforest cardstock. And then I'm just going around the edges with some black soot Distress Oxide ink. And then we're going to fill it in with a little bit of Chip Sapphire as well. And what I'm doing here is I just want it to look like a night scene, and I wanted to use the new Rainforest cardstock, and it was really green, so I needed to get it to look more like a nighttime sky. And I thought by adding the Chip Sapphire and the black soot that would help to kind of give that look to it. And I really like how it ended up looking. It looks it's really, really pretty. And now I'm just taking that white gouache again, and we're gonna sprinkle it all over the back of our cardstock just to make snow. So it's another snowy night for our little reveal wheel card. And I'm just gonna sprinkle little dots of snow all over the background. And then we're gonna do the same with the liquid stardust. So I'm gonna take the liquid stardust and put a few drops down, and then water it down just a bit, and then splash that onto the background too. So one thing I've noticed about the liquid stardust, I use a lot of it. So I've already ordered a second bottle. I still have maybe 3/4 of the bottle that I bought, but you go through it quickly, and it evaporates quickly also. So if you put it aside to use later, it may already be evaporated by the time you get to it. So just something to note about the liquid stardust. You'll probably use more of it than you think you would, just based on experience, I think, with other shimmer sprays and things like that. Okay, so for the reveal wheel itself, I just pasted the template onto my little reveal wheel piece, and then I stamped in the little images from the Tiny Christmas stamp set that was just released. And these are the little guys that are going to be hanging out in the window of our reveal wheel house. And I'm just going to color them in quickly, not doing any shading, just coloring them all in with one color. So the little boy will have blonde hair and a little blue pajamas. The little girl will have brown hair and some pink pajamas. And then we have our little doggy, who is a caramel color. And now for the backgrounds behind them, I wanted them each to have like a little bit different of a glow around them. So we're going to use some BG60 for the girl, some BG00 for the boy, and then some YR30 for the little dog. And then I got out my R20, not realizing how dark it was going to be. And I was like, ew, I don't like that very much. So I'm just blending it out with the R30, and it's all going to look fine in the end. And then that's going to do it. Now we can put our reveal wheel together. So I'm going to take a little brad, and you want the feet of your brad to be poking out of the front side. That's the side with the little characters on them. And then you take your little small circle, place it on the back side with the brad facing upward, and then you bend the feet to either side, and the feet should be showing on that panel that has the images. So that's the front side. Now on the back side, we're going to put 4 little foam dots, being sure not to touch anywhere except for that black paper. We don't want to touch the brad. We don't want to touch the white paper, just that little black circle, because this is going to allow the circle to spin. And now I'm just lining up my reveal wheel with the front of the card, so I know exactly where to place our reveal wheel. And then because our front panel and our back panel are exactly the same size, if I just lay them together exactly and then press down, then I can get my reveal wheel centered perfectly where it needs to be on the back panel. And now I'm going to take my reveal wheel off because I forgot to stamp the little sentiment that says "See what's stirring," and I'm just going to stamp that on now with some mermaid ink by Lawn Fawn, and then put it back on, and that looks good to me. And now I'm going to add our snow, and then we're going to add the little house on top of it. So we're making another little white house here. And then we'll add the roof, and none of this is being popped up. It's just all flat against the background. I'm just coloring in my little window. So this is the first house that we're seeing in this video that has the first floor window added. The other houses, I didn't add them because I liked having the door in the center. But for this one, I was like, let's try to do something a little different. So we put the little window on the first floor, and then we'll put the door off to the right. And my idea for this card was I just wanted a nice little simple elegant house, so in all blacks and whites and grays. And then we're going to have Santa standing outside the house with a bag of gifts. And then we're going to have all the little kids and little dog inside the house on the second floor watching to see what's going on outside in the middle of this big snowstorm on Christmas Eve. So now I'm just going to add my steps again because I forgot to add the base the first time, but no problem. Going to add a little wreath, and that is cilantro cardstock and then raspberry cardstock. That's probably my favorite red and green combination, especially for Christmas. We're just decorating the wreath the same way we did earlier with some little dots of dark green Copic markers and then some little dots of white. We're going to color in our lights the same way we did before. This time, instead of using the full rainbow, I thought we'd stick to primary colors. So we're not primary colors, the colors that, I don't know, I remember when I was a kid seeing on houses. So it would be like red, yellow, green, blue, like really simple, like no pink, no purple, just green, yellow, red, and blue. So just wanted to see how that would look on a house, just to have some lights with some different colors. So now I'm just going to attach the front piece to the lights themselves. I guess this is a little wire that they hang from. And then once we have all that, we can attach it to our house. And I'm really liking the scene here. It's like a nice, dark, calm, kind of snowy night. And I like the idea that the little kids are just cozy upstairs, just waiting for Santa to come. Then we'll get those lights on top. And now we can put some liquid stardust onto the light. So instead of using glossy accents this time, I thought, let's see what happens if we put the liquid stardust on the lights. And as you're going to see, they're really, really sparkly. So it's almost like a glitter effect you get by adding the unwatered down liquid stardust directly to a colored cardstock. So now we have little Santa and his little bag of toys. And then he's going to have a present in his hand as well, waiting by the front door. I guess the chimney on that house, I forgot to put the chimney in, so he's going to have to go in through the door. And then we're just going to attach all of our little foam dots around the reveal wheel. So I keep these foam dots on hand just for reveal wheels because I found that having the 3 different sizes really helps depending on where you're placing the little foam dots. And this part takes a little time, putting them on, getting the backing off. And then to line it up, you just line the front panel and the back panel up directly alongside each other. And then like magic, you have your little reveal wheel. And then I'm attaching everything to some storm cloud cardstock for the card base. And then here you have it. Here's our little reveal wheel card. And I did go and add another arrow to the side of the reveal wheel after I finished filming the video, and you can see that in the photos of the projects at the beginning and end of the video. So thanks so much for watching today, everyone. I hope that you're having fun with your Build-A-House dies and getting some use out of your older stamp sets that you can use to decorate your houses. And I will see you again soon in the next video.